on this episode of Coding with Kate, I wanted to talk about what to do now that you're certified. So in my debrief video, I'll have a link in the description. I posed the question of I didn't know if I was legally or technically a CCA the day I passed, which was yesterday, or will it take a few days? I don't really know what happens. Figured out the answer later in the evening. So I will walk through how to find out when your CCA is in effect and all of that good stuff, what to do now that you have the certification. So let's get into that. So later on, after you have come back from your exam, AHIMA will update the website and your account to show that you do have your certification. I don't remember how many hours it took, but I did go onto AHIMA and found out that they had already updated my account. So when you sign in, you want to click on My AHIMA, and then on the top right corner, the Messages section, when you click on that, there will be a message from AHIMA saying they got your CCA exam results, and they will give you information on what to do next. And it's all about going to the CEU center. So let's go back. So on your account, you will notice that below your profile picture and name, they will have the certification added on in there, which is very exciting. And when you go down to Education and Certification, that section, you want to click on CEU Center. And from there, they have a tutorial if you go on there for the first time. And I think once every time you sign in, it will bring up a little tutorial thing and kind of show you around. But this is where you will be updating your certification as far as CEUs go. You will find out that when you scroll down, it will show all the information about your credentials. It will keep track of how many CEUs you have, how many you've entered, and you'll see that it says 0 out of 20, so it lets you know how many you need to keep your certification active before you recertify. And then how many of those CEUs are HIM field CEUs. And to take note that you need to enter in your own CEUs on here, but they want you to know that if you are up for a random audit of those CEUs, they want you to keep files of all of the certifications of those CEUs to show that yes, you did complete the CEUs that you claimed on your account. And then there's also information, or the section for self-review. I don't know much about that yet, but I guess at the end of your certification cycle, so right before your certification will expire and then you have to recertify, you have to do a self-review of some sort. And this will also be a link where you can click on that and then do that and get more information. I think you do that every year. I'm not really sure. Overall, this area will also tell you your credential number, which is the information that you will put in if you are applying for a job and they ask for the credentials. They will want the number, so then they can go to that organization and they can verify your credentials and make sure that yes, this is valid, this is you. And it will also tell you the date that the certification expires, so you know when to recertify, so then you don't let your certification lapse and then go inactive. Another great thing about this section on your AHIMA account, you can actually view your certificate. So like I said in the previous video, in the debrief, that you don't get a hard copy of your certificate until about 2 months because I send it via post mail, but you can actually view your certificate digitally. Keep in mind, I will have to blur out some information on here, but you'll at least get an idea of what it looks like. And what I would suggest is saving a copy of this on your computer or on a thumb drive that has all of the other digital information about your certification, so you always have access to it, just in case you are somewhere where you might not have internet access and you may not be able to go onto ahima.org to then access this. But I believe most hospitals and larger clinics on their career portion of the website, when you have your own login profile to then keep track of your submitted applications and things, you can also add attachments that may help build your resume and portfolio with them, so they can see everything that you have completed that will enhance your resume. And showing your certification, the actual certificate, is another great thing to add to that digital profile with these new employers. So I would suggest saving a copy of this on your computer. You can show these employers this certificate before they even go to verifying your credentials. You can show them, this is what I have, and it will have all of the information for them to use to then verify your credentials. After you have checked your account and have learned about CEUs, how many you need, etc., I think the next step is then to get a folder ready for all of your documents on your certification and everything that surrounds it. So I suggest either a hanging folder if you have a filing cabinet, or a bin that can fit these hanging folders, or a just manila file folder, or you can get one of the accordion filing, what are these called? These expandable file folders, because then you have all of these different folders within it. So then you can have one for obtaining your CCA, so you can have your ATT letter in there, the confirmation letter that you scheduled with Pearson VUE, and then also your results of the exam, so you can have that all in one. And then you can have another one that has to do with all of your CEUs, so all of these certificates you receive for completing each course or webinar or whatever it was that you got the CEUs from. And then along the way, any other documents that have to do with your certification you can add in there, so then you can always have those available if you need them for an audit or you need them for a job, etc. You have everything there that can document your certification and what you are doing to keep up on it. I can't wait to do that because I love file folders and filing and organizing and all that fun stuff. So I can't wait to do that. And as far as CEUs go, AHIMA offers webinars, courses that you can get CEU credits for, and they range on all sorts of topics. They talk about security, HIPAA, confidentiality, release of information, data analytics, information governance. Like, they cover all stuff outside of applying codes. So there's a plethora of information you can learn about, and this is all within the HIM field, so this can all be counted towards your CEUs. The CEUs do not have to be learning about how to apply codes or certain specialties within applying codes. It doesn't have to be specific to that. It can be anything within the HIM field, because CEUs are continuing education. So as you go through your life as a coder, you want to learn more and more about everything within the HIM field, because that's going to help you move through your career and gain more knowledge and insight that will help you further on in the future. So keep that in mind. You can do almost anything within the HIM field for your CEUs. And you can do as many as you want. You can do more than what is required of you. Just make sure you don't do less, because then your certification, your credential, will lapse, and then you will have to go through the CCA or CCS or whatever certification it is again, like go through the actual exam. So you don't want to do that. For me right now, my hospital offers webinars and things online for their coders and employees to get CEUs. So now that I am credentialed, I believe I will be open to taking those online courses, I believe. I'm going to ask them that now I have my credential, what webinars or online courses do you have for your coders that I can take too to gain CEUs? So that's what I'm going to do for that, and I'm probably going to do that this month. And I'm going to start getting my CEUs racked up because I love continuing education and learning as much as I can. If you have any questions about CEUs or what else happens after you're credentialed, etc., post them in the comments below. If there are questions that I can't answer because I don't have the experience or the resources to get that, I will send them off to the coders in the forums and also at my hospital and see if they have any insight on any of that. If you have any other ideas on other video topics, please let me know in the comments so then I can start working on those. Also, subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. You will get notifications on all the videos that I post, so you're always in the know. Also, like this video if you enjoyed the topic of what to do now that you're certified, because I really didn't know what happened next. So, like this video so I will know that you also were interested in this topic. And I will definitely do more videos on keeping up to date with my credentials and the CEUs and offer any resources that are open to people outside of my hospital, etc. So you will have a link or a list of links of resources to gain CEUs once you are credentialed. And I will see y'all later. Bye!